At the end of the session, the viewer will be able to understand the following website terms. We have web page, web address. We'll be looking at the 7 parts of a web page, a website, web structure, web content, web browser, web server, and World Wide Web. So we're looking at these definitions. All right, a web page. A web page is a document on the World Wide Web. This document is a HTML file and any associated files for scripts and images such as graphics. Other web pages are frequently hyperlinked to a HTML file. A web address. To access a web page, a web address or Uniform Resource Locator, which is abbreviated URL, is needed. The URL is the specific words or numbers that are typed into a web browser. An example of a web address is https://www.cadwithmru.com. This is an example of a web address, but it's not a real address that exists. Some time ago, I made a video on the 7 parts of a web page, so perhaps you could visit that video, okay? A website is a group of interrelated web pages. These web pages normally include a home page and are normally located on the same server. These web pages are created and maintained as a set of information by an individual, a team of persons, a company, or an institution. Website structure is the organization of a website's web pages using navigational tools on the website so that the web pages can be accessed and can be predictable by the user. Before you start the creation of the structure of your website, you need to have an idea of what the web pages will be on the website. On the screen, we have an example of the website structure. So we have the home page, which is the main landing page for a website. And here we have the different related categories, okay? So an example that we could use is a transportation example, okay? So the home page would show the different types of information that speaks about transportation in general. And then the another page, right, which is linked to the home page, could, for example, show transportation by bus. And here you would have a subcategory, for example, medium-sized buses. And this one, for example, would be small buses. And then over here, this right-hand side here, we could have, for example, trucks. And then under trucks, we could have, for example, over here, we could have trailers, right? Articulated trailers. And then under this subcategory, we could have a subcategory. And here we could have a 18-wheeler truck, for example. If there's a 18-wheeler truck made, then we could have a 16-wheeler truck here if there's such a truck as a 16-wheel truck. And here we could put a van here. Okay, so here we would have trucks, trailer, and then we would have uh, vans if as an example. Okay, here we have an example of the website structure again. And here we have the home page. So for example, if we're looking at fruits, for example, the home page would introduce our site as one that has information about the different types of fruits, right? So on page one, we could have maybe apples. On page two, we could have maybe strawberries. Page three, we could probably have oranges. Page 4, we could probably have pineapples. And I believe I said oranges for page 3. So on page 3.1, we could have oranges that are grown in Florida. On page 3.2, we could have oranges grown in South America, for example, if they are grown in South America as an example. Let's move on to the next slide. Our website structures. Remember I told you about the different pages on the previous slide. So here we could have the website structure here would be sequential. So the user would go to page 1, then they will be navigated to page 2, then they could be navigated to page 3, and so on, right? And they could also be navigated uh, back to page 2 and 1, right? And normally would press the back button to access the previous page, right? So if we're on page 2, we could press next to go to page 3. If we're on page 3, we could press back to go to page 2. All right, website content. So here we have, these would be different web pages. So we have one web page here called Home, a second web page here called About, another web page called Products, and we have a Contact Us web page, right? So this page would be the home page, for example. And when you click on these different blue tabs, you'll be navigated to the respective web pages that I spoke about a while ago. So here, the home page would have a description of about 100 to 200 words about our the information on our website. Then we have the about, for example, would say we are a local company that sells, for example, stationery, and we could use a Microsoft Word document to set out our information in the planning stages of our website. And also for the products, we could list our products and also have pictures on a Word document. This is before we're actually going to make the site. We could actually use a Microsoft Word document to type out the different type of information and photographs that we would have on the 4 pages that are shown here, right? So here now, again, we could use a Word document again, right? To set out the information that will be on our contact us web page before we actually use the HTML code to actually build the website, okay? So this would be for the contact us, it could be a description of at least 300 to 500 words, and it could also have the contact email, right? So here where we have the home page here said we could save a Word document called Home Doc, right? And on this page, we write all the information that we want to be displayed on our home page. So here's an example down here. We could have a banner at the top of our so this green box would represent our web page in the design phases, right? Before we actually use our HTML code to build the web page, right? We'd have a slider and the information is this information here in this yellow box, right? And here we could list our products on the home page if we choose to do so, right? So we have product 1, we'd write all the information for product 1 in our Microsoft Word document. For example, product 2, we repeat the process, write the information, and then product 3, we could write the information for product 3 in our Microsoft Word document in the planning stages of our website building, right? All right, so web browser. A web browser is a program that enables users to see and research information on the World Wide Web. Microsoft Edge and Mozilla Firefox are some of the popular browsers that are used to explore information on the World Wide Web. And we'll be looking at the definition of the World Wide Web in some slides coming up. All right, web server. Computers are used to deliver or serve up web pages on the World Wide Web. After the user makes a request to access a website by typing in the web address, the web server receives the request. The requested page is fetched by the web server and is sent to your web browser. World Wide Web. The web is another word that is used for the term World Wide Web. It is a system of interlinked files on the internet. This system is graphical and is easy to use. The World Wide Web enables large quantities of information to be available to users.